Next, arithmetic coding. So in arithmetic coding, we transfer input data into a floating point number. Okay, floating point number between 0 to 1 only, between 0 to 1. Okay, the number must be in 0 to 1. So to perform the arithmetic coding, the steps we follow is: first step, arrange the, so before that, if probability is given, okay, if not given, calculate the probabilities of each pixel. After calculating the probabilities, we have to arrange the symbols in dictionary order. This is very important. Dictionary order. And then create the interval range to each symbol according to their probabilities. Now split the interval. Split the interval by transmitting the given data. Okay. Now split the interval by transmitting the given data. Then new intervals is given as lower interval is equal to previous lower interval plus difference of previous interval into symbol lower interval. Upper interval is equal to same formula into symbol upper interval. Okay, symbol upper interval. Whatever we transmitted data, that data upper interval and lower interval. Okay, let us do a small problem so that you can understand it. Encode the INDIA okay, using arithmetic coding. Okay, using arithmetic coding. So what is the step 1? Step 1 is calculate the probabilities. So here how many words are there? How many letters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 letters. Out of 5 letters, how many symbols are there? I is repeated. So for 5 letters, 4 symbols, right? 5 letters and 4 symbols. Let us calculate the probabilities. So arrange the in this dictionary order. So first A, next D, next I, next N. So symbol probability. Okay. For A, how many A's are there? 1 A. How many letters are there? 5. So 1 by 5. D probability also 1 by 5. I probability 2 letters are there. 2 by 5. N is 1 by 5. Okay. After that, step 2. Create the intervals. Intervals. So symbol probability interval. Okay. So don't write I 2 times. Here I we have 2 times. But the symbol is only one. According to probability will be varied. Okay. Don't write 2 times I here. Okay. We have to write only one time and we have to calculate probability according to the number of letters. ADIN 1 by 5, 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 1 by 5. Now interval. So interval range must be 0 to 1 only. So I am starting with the 0. Okay. And I stop with 1 by 5 for A. Okay. 1 by 5. Now this 1 by 5 will comes here for new one. Okay. So for D, it starts with 1 by 5 and end with 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5. 2 by 5. You add this one with the next probability. Now this will comes here 2 by 5. For this 2 by 5 add probability 2 by 5 plus 2 by 5 4 by 5. Next this will come here 4 by 5. For this 4 by 5 add 1 by 5. So 4 by 5 to 1. So for all symbols we add intervals. Now we have to transmit the symbols. So I have to transmit in which order? I and D I A. Okay. I and D I A. You have to transmit in this order. So I and D I A. So to transmit this one, we have to plot the table. A D I N. Okay. A D I N. So what is the starting interval? 0 and 1. So first symbol you have to transmit is I. So this is I. Okay. A D I N. Now you have to calculate lower interval, upper interval. So lower interval is given as L is equal to previous lower interval 0 plus difference of previous interval. Previous interval is 1 minus 0 and I am transmitting I, right? I lower interval is we calculate already symbol intervals. So I interval is how much? See here. I interval is 2 by 5. So I am writing in decimal values. These are 0 to 0 0.2, 0 0.2 to 0 0.4, okay, 0 0.4 to 0 0.8, 0 0.8 to 1. So I lower interval is 0 0.4. Okay, that is 0 0.4. Here we get 0 0.4. Upper interval 0 plus 1 minus 4 into symbol interval. So I upper interval is what? 0 0.8. So 0 0.8. Here we get 0 0.8. Okay. Next symbol you have to transmit is n. N. ADIN. Now again you have to calculate lower interval and upper interval. So lower interval. So previous lower interval is what now? 0 0.4 plus difference of the interval. 0 0.8 minus 0 0.4 into, we are transmitting now n. So n lower interval is what? N lower interval is 0 0.8. So 0 0.4 plus 0 0.4 into 0 0.8. Okay. How much the value it is? Oh. 0.72. Okay. So lower interval is 0.72. Upper interval is 0.4 in plus 0.8 minus 0.4 into 1. That is 0.8. So here we get 0.8. Next you have to transmit D. A, D, I, N. Now you have to calculate again lower interval, upper interval. So lower interval is equal to, previous lower interval is what now? 0.72. So 0.72 plus difference of interval into which symbol you are transmitted now? D. So D lower interval is 0.2. D lower interval is 0.2. 0.2. So how much this value? 0.736. So this one becomes 0.736. Next upper interval 0.72 plus 0.8 minus 0. Into 0.4, right? 0.4. How much is this value? 0.752. So this is 0.752. Next you have to transmit I. So again you have to do I. Here we already perform I. Why you have to know? We have to perform once again. We have to perform once again. Okay. Lower interval, upper interval. After calculating lower interval and the next symbol is A. Okay. So here the lower interval is 0.7424. Here 0.7488. Again 0.7424. 0.74368. Okay. After completing this data, after transmitting this data, INDIA is completed now. IND Okay, this is INDIA. After completion of India, we get final interval like this. Now we have to calculate a tag. Final step, tag, that is final interval average. Final interval average means 0.742 plus 0.74368 by 2. Final lower interval plus upper interval divided by 2. So the final interval tag is 0.74304. Okay, 0.74304. This is encoding process. In exam, sometimes they will give decoding process also. Decoding process. So in decoding process, okay, in decoding process, they will give probabilities like this. Suppose same probabilities I am explaining now. A is equal to 0.1, D is equal to 0.1, so A is equal to 0.2, D is equal to 0.2, I is equal to 0.4, DN is equal to 0.2. Okay, I given these symbols. Okay, for this symbol, you have to find out the intervals. So what is the intervals? 0 to 0.2, 0.2 to 0.4, 0.4 to 0.8, 0.8 to 1, right? Now they will give one tag like this. The tag value may be they will give like this 0.7434. Okay, they will give tag like this. So now you have to do is you have to decode this tag. Now observe this tag 0.74304. This tag value will belongs to which symbol? See, observe here. Out of these four intervals, this tag is belongs to this one. Okay, this one. So first symbol transmitted is I. First symbol transmitted is I. Let us see now. Now you have to transmit I now. Now you have to transmit I. A D I N. Okay. First symbol you are transmitting is I. First symbol. So this is 0. This is 1. So you know that this value is 0.4, 0.8. So in decoding process, we don't know next symbol to transmit, right? In previously I said INDIA. So after I you have to transmit N. Now we don't know next symbol because in decoding process we don't know next symbol. So for that purpose, you have to calculate every interval. You have to calculate every interval here. Okay, this is mandatory. You have to calculate every interval because suppose A is transmitted or D is transmitted or I is transmitted or again N is transmitted. We don't know. So we have to calculate every interval. You have to calculate every interval. So lower interval plus difference of lower interval into symbol interval. So I am calculating here symbol intervals. So 0.2. Next 0.4 plus into 0.4. Next 0.4 plus into 0.8 because this is symbol interval. This is previous intervals. So previous interval is this one only because we are transmitting this symbol. Suppose I transmitting A. So this is previous. This interval becomes previous. Okay. So you have to calculate these values. Okay. What are those values? So the first value is 0.48. Means this is 0.48. So next value is 0.56. So next value is 0.72. Okay. Now observe here the tag. Now for this new interval, the tag is belongs to which symbol? N. Okay. So next symbol is N. We have to transmit it N. So 0.8, 0.72. I, D, A. Okay. Now we have to again calculate intervals. Okay, these new intervals. So these new intervals are what now? 0.72 plus 0.8 minus 0.72 into symbol intervals 0.2. 0.72 into 0.4. 0.8 minus 0.72 into 0.8. So again you have to calculate new intervals and check the tag belongs to which number, which symbol. Like that you have to reduce the intervals. Like that you have to reduce the intervals. Maximum calculate up to 4 to 5 symbols. Okay, 4 to 5 symbols. Continue this process up to 4 to 5 symbols in decoding process.